Welcome back, Virgo, to the month of August 2017. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and or rising signs in the 6th sign of Virgo the Virgin, holding the chaff of wheat. And, okay, so when the month starts out, it trails from the prior month of July 31st and on into August 1st, with the moon still in Pisces, your opposite sun sign, in your 7th house of others. And while that's there, it then proceeds to oppose Venus in your sign of Virgo. So Venus in your sign, in the earthy, mutable Earth sign of Virgo, in your 1st house of the self and body, now makes a 180-degree angular, because it spans the angular houses, to the moon in Pisces. And what this can do for you is give you an emotional satisfaction, in a sense, or an emotional challenge and or awareness, as I like to call this, the awareness point, because one side or the other, Venus in your sign, somewhat you will need to learn how to be less self-critical, as Venus in Virgo creates a lot of self-criticism. And with this opposition to the moon, it will give you that sense of awareness to the Piscean flavor to the moon, letting you know that, hey, life isn't so hard. Go easy on yourself. That's the way I look at that. And then on August 3rd, Mercury, your ruling planet, in your 12th house, temporarily transiting your 12th house of where Pisces naturally resides, Mercury, your ruling planet retrograde, trines the moon. Once the moon goes into your 8th house of others as resources, or sex, death, and taxes, in Aries, a cardinal fire sign. And with this harmonious trine, you will be able to possibly tap in intuitively to your subconscious mind and dream state, to what others might have available to you. Others as resources, what others value. Emotionally, you may very well harmoniously come into something to heal or transmute. I don't know if that's the word. Something. Anyhow, your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde currently and will continue to be retrograde until August 19th. And I forget when it went retrograde. I'm going to go look. I will look. However, on the following day, August 4th, the last quarter moon happens in your ninth house of religion and philosophy, law and higher learning. And with this last quarter phase, you now have, and that happens at 12 degrees Taurus, 19 minutes. With this last quarter moon phase, you now have the ability to wrap up loose ends in terms of something to do with law or judicial matters, as that's what the ninth house governs. And then on August 5th, Venus in your sign of Virgo trines the moon as it's still building or moving right along. And with this harmonious trine from the moon to Venus in your sign, see here it says Virgo ruled by Mercury, but when Venus is in Virgo, however, with this trine, you will lessen your self-criticalness and begin to start loving yourself. And you know, that comes and goes with all of us. Self-esteem is not perfect. Self-worth is not perfect. It's never perfect. We all strive for happiness, but it's never perfect. Contentment is a better thing to strive for. Now, moving right along, on August 7th, Uranus in Taurus retrogrades in your ninth house, and I'm not quite sure how that will affect you, but also on the 7th, your ruling planet sextiles the moon once the moon goes into your 10th house of career, the ego, and public standing. So from the 12th to the 10th, your ruling planet to the moon, emotionally and intellectually, you'll have a decent, positive, short but sweet 2 house, 2 signs away connection between what you do in your career, how you present yourself, public standing, versus your inner subconscious self. You will probably do a lot of self-analysis with this positive sextile, and it won't be critical. Then on August 9th, Pluto in Capricorn opposes or does the 180, the moon, from the 5th house of romance and creativity to the 11th house of friendships, goals, hopes, and wishes. And with this moon in Cancer opposing the transformational planet in solid Capricorn, the other earth sign, your earth too, only you're mutable earth. Capricorn is cardinal earth. With this opposition, you now have the ability to raise awareness within group events and emotionally state how you want to transform what it is you're after creatively, and or you may have a little bit of challenge between friends and romantic partners or lovers. Then on August 11th, the new moon occurs in Leo, as well as the partial solar eclipse. There we go. As well as the partial solar eclipse. New moon, speaks of new thoughts, new subconscious thoughts perhaps, new avenues of healing your subconscious mind and your dreams and your cleaning up or clarity. I see that with the new moon at 18 degrees Leo, 42 minutes. Then on August 13th, Mars leaves Aquarius and enters Capricorn, going into your 5th house. Then the following day, Mars trines the moon. Yes, okay. On the following day, Mars trines the moon in Virgo, in your sign, Virgo. So, Earth to Earth, or 4 houses or 4 signs away. And now you have a very harmonious sense of emotional and self-nurturing well-being, harmoniously trining Mars, the action planet, in your 5th house, meaning you'll be able to feel very attractive at this time, less self-critical, even though Venus is still in Virgo, and voila, this very harmonious 120 degree trine gives you that edge or ability to assert yourself in a very harmonious way and present yourself, your body, that is, yourself, body language, to and with and maybe for a new romantic partner coming from the new moon state. Moving right along, Mars squares the moon. Moon goes into your 2nd house in Libra, making a 90 degree square to Mars in Capricorn, both cardinal signs. And with this, you will emotionally find that there may be a bit of a challenge or obstacles concerning the actions you take with needing money for your creative possibilities. Then the first quarter moon happens on August 18th in your 3rd house in Scorpio, the third house of communications, at 25 degrees Scorpio, 20 minutes. And with this third house moon, it's a gentle but yet also analytical ability to delve deeply in a big way. And then Mars then proceeds to sextile the moon. And again, with this very short but sweet positive 60-degree flow aspect between two houses away from third to fifth, or the third house of the conscious mind and conscious communication, short distance travels to go visit a love, a new lover, taking action toward those steps. Then on August 19th, Jupiter trines Neptune. Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces. Water, water. Flow. Flowing right along. Flowing right along. And with this very harmonious aspect between Jupiter in your third house of communications and Neptune over here in Pisces in your seventh house of relationships, partnerships, and others, even business associates, business partners, that is, you can now harmoniously take big strides, as also Jupiter is Piscean's sub-ruler and your opposite sun sign. And you can learn a lot from your opposite sign. It's like, I always think of it as reflecting off, like a reflector on a bicycle. I don't know if that makes sense. Then on August 19th as well, your ruling planet, get rid of that. Get out of here, Mercury retrograde. Ugh. Your ruling planet goes direct in your 12th house of the subconscious mind. Now you'll have even more clarity. Then, on August 20th, the sun trines the moon. When the moon goes into your fourth house of the home in Sagittarius, since Sagittarius is a fire sign, and August is the Leo month, and with this trine from the subconscious mind to the moon in your fourth house of the home, there will be emotional joy with this moon placement. I love it when the moon is in Sagittarius or coming out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius, because that means when it starts out right here and ends up here, Scorpio, I love it when the moon's in Scorpio and Sagittarius, because everybody is so joyous between themselves and among themselves. Neighbors are always so much friendlier and nicer. And then, and well, how that will affect you is that it'll bring you harmony within the home. Between your sometimes isolated alone time, because I see this as a need to be alone, and within the home. Then on August 23rd, the sun changes signs and goes into your sign, Virgo. So now the sun is transiting your first house of the self and body. And you can really embody yourself. Get it? Body, embody. Okay? Then, on August 26th, the moon comes full circle and goes full in Pisces at 3 degrees Pisces, 12 minutes. August 26th, we'll have a full moon. And for you, that full moon happens in your 7th house of relationships, significant relationships. And it spans from the 7th to the 1st. 7th, 1st, 1st, 7th. Full moon, magnanimous, sun in your sign. The sun in Virgo now. And you're loving this because you need this. And then on August 27th, Mars goes direct. And I don't have a little piece of paper for that. I don't have the retrograde. I don't have a retrograde for Uranus or Mars. I gotta make those eventually. Then on August 28th, Mars sextiles the moon. Once the moon goes into your 8th house of others as resources. Well, wait a minute. Maybe it's still here in Pisces for the time being. Yeah, because it takes 2.5 days for the moon to change signs. So forgive me for that. That's a minor mistake. Oh, and by the way, you are here, as this is Earth. See the little you are here sign. Okay, so the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. And so this sextile, again, 2 houses away. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but my next door neighbor just sneezed. She sneezes really loud. Okay, so moon in Pisces still, leaving eventually soon into Aries, sextiling Mars in Capricorn. And with this moon sextile Mars, another pleasant energy between your 5th house of romance and your 7th house of significant relationships. Maybe this romance will blossom into something more significant. And then on May, I almost said May, goodness, Mercury is still retrograde until August 19th. We're not even there yet. This is July 9th that I'm recording this. Finally, though, on August 30th, Mars squares the moon. Once the moon goes into your 8th house in Aries, Mars square moon might be a little bit of a challenging time for you. However, go in peace. There's no need to worry about squares and oppositions. They're only lessons, or as I like to say, lesson rides. And with that, Virgo, I would like to thank you very much for taking your time to watch your reading and for commenting down below, liking, giving me a thumbs up, commenting anything you would like about what you enjoyed here, and or subscribing. And also, before I forget, I wanted to mention that this is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube with my North Star Astrology channel. And it's like, oh yeah, and a good friend of mine who's also ruled by Mercury has said, "How did you come up with that name?" And I said, "I don't know. Many years ago I did, though. And it has a nice ring to it, and that's why I created it and came up with it." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." He's a Gemini. Anyhow, so enjoy the rest of July and enjoy the month of August, because it will be a really fun but yet gentle month. And try not to be too self-critical of yourself, okay? And until next month, thank you very much.